I'm on Dr. fucking Phil right now, and I love it.
All right. So my dogs have a piss kink. Welcome back to the Independent and Unstable podcast featuring your hosts, Lacey and Julie.
What's up?
What's poppin'? So if you are watching, or hopefully if you're hearing too, because we're hoping to fix a lot of things, but we have a new setup. Thanks to my mother. This is her lovely office. So she was nice enough to let us use it as a nice little cozy set. I think it is a nice little vibe.
I think it's a good vibe, especially for right now. Where we're at.
It was so funny because we were literally like, yeah, we could get like 2 little cute chairs that could like sit next to each other. And I was like, my mom literally has 2 chairs in her office.
Yeah, her mom's office is set up for a talk show.
Yeah, straight
just
up.
This is what this is. Just talk show.
I sat down and Julie's like, this is my intervention.
I felt like I was being intervened.
But basically, a lot of people have been giving some constructive criticism, which we really appreciate. But I want you to remember that emphasis on the unstable. Like, we're still learning everything.
We're also very invested in this, and so just be nice with your criticism, okay?
I don't think anyone's been too aggressive. No, most of the criticism.
This is just the forewarning. Like,
be nice.
Catch me on the wrong fucking day, bitch.
No, but I think what she means is just like, we're really excited about this. Like, we've been wanting to do this for a long time. That's what I'm saying.
We're very emotionally invested.
Yeah. So we're trying our best.
Right.
We really are. So we are still working out the kinks of audio. We are still making sure that we can do this and make it a really good podcast. So please bear with us.
Emphasis on the bear with us.
Exactly. But I think really quick, for any of my cattle people from TikTok, I'm just going to give you a really quick rundown. Like I've said before, the vet is coming next Monday so that we can do palpation and vaccination. Real quick, I'll do a whole YouTube video explaining a little bit more in detail and who's pregnant, who's not. But basically, palpation, kind of a little bit invasive for the cow in the sense of you go up their pooper and you check to see if there's a baby and how far along it is, just because sanitation wise, if you went in the vagine, you could disrupt that very sterile area. So they go up through the butt and the vet will check and see how far along all my girls are, and that'll give me an estimate. It's not going to be anything like her due date is February 22nd. Like, it's not going to be that specific. He's going to be able to be like, she's about 4 to 5 months along. So that'll give me a better gauge of who's pregnant, who's not, and how far along. And then they'll just get regular vaccines. Every farmer is different, every rancher is different. I personally like to vaccinate when they are in their 2nd and 3rd trimesters, just because it can benefit the babies as well. And of course, everything is safe for them. And then I wanted to deworm and delouse early, because the last 2 winters I have struggled really hard with lice once it starts getting a little bit warm. So I'm hoping if I get ahead of it this time, I won't have that issue. It's not super aggressive for my ladies. They just get itchy and they start losing some hair and patches. Like, a lot of people deal with it. It's a very common thing, but I just want to try to get ahead of it. So that's what I got going on. Like I said, there'll be a full YouTube video if you want to get more in depth with that. I just wanted to update the peeps that might be here because of my cows.
Word
to your mother. But
cow softcore. Checked it off the list.
Well, sometimes we get to rambling, and so we just wanted to make sure we covered our bases.
We're going to start putting the important stuff at the beginning. I feel like that's a good place to put it.
Exactly.
The stuff that we really want to make sure we hit on, like just the little stuff.
Yeah.
And then that way, you know, because last week's episode, it was like an hour and 20 minutes. It was a good episode.
Fantastic. Audio could have been better.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that for a second. So I got really excited because I thought we had finally figured out the microphone situation.
Oh, we were lit.
And I finally figured out how to import different audios onto the same track. Okay. I'm a little bit special. And I did the research. I thought I did the proper amount of research when I YouTubed how to start a podcast for idiots. And the video I watched was very misleading. So the audio last week was a little fucky. Mm-hmm. I had to cut it all up into little pieces and sync every individual 10 minutes.
Yeah.
To each other. Mm-hmm. But I think part of that was the fact that we were sitting too close, and then our mics were picking up each other, and then that made it echoey. Mm-hmm. And then, anyway. But here we are, still using 2 microphones on 2 different devices, and hopefully we have figured out how to make that happen. That's part of the reason why we're in here, is because we can be further apart until we can get, fancy microphones that have, like, condoms.
We're trying... We're raw out here, okay?
We're practicing safe podcasting, okay?
We are raw out here in this motherfucker. So just bear with us. Like I said, we are still learning. Still trying to figure it out.
And you know what? Chances are, 9 out of 10, the audio is still gonna be fucked.
And you know what? If that's awful foreshadowing, then
listen, if y'all share our podcast enough, maybe we can make some co-op and we'll get some better situations.
That's
okay?
true. That is very true. So
that's what, we're just two girls out here trying to grind.
Two girls out here just trying to grind. Something I want to bring up first and foremost. We'll get to your stuff in a second, but something we do need to talk about is the unfair farting dynamic. And you may be thinking of a lot of times in female-male relationships how guys fart all the time, but girls are like, I don't know when I should fart around my boyfriend, oh my god, tee, and all that jazz. No. Me and Julie's relationship has an unfair fart dynamic.
Listen, you're making it a lot worse than what it actually is.
It's
because
bad.
As the person who is the accused top in the situation, as the person who is at the top of the farting pyramid in this situation, allegedly, I don't see a problem with how we handle farting.
Yeah, because you're on top.
I can see where you're coming from, still don't see a problem.
Let me explain then to the people, and we'll let them have an opinion. So basically, this is what I mean, ladies and gents and everybody in between. If Julie farts, it's applauded. It's hilarious. It's funny. She'll shit her pants, look me in the eye, go, okay? And she'll be like, I have IBS. What are you gonna do?
That's
okay?
my excuse.
And that's fine. I get it. She has IBS. She do be rude. She do be tootin'. And that's fine. I love her for it. But if I have a gassy day and I let out a toot, Julie acts like it is breaking news. She's like, oh my god, did you just shit your pants?
Listen, this is why I do it. Because Lacey doesn't do it often, and when she does, it's like the tiniest little fart, and she'll look at me like, did you hear that? You heard that, right? Or like the other day, for example, we were in my garage, and she was sitting in one of the many office chairs I have in my garage for whatever reason, and we were in the middle of a conversation, and she rips one, and it had a little question mark at the end. It was like a burp, and I was like, hold on. What was that? So that's where I come from.
So what you're saying is to make this a more
you have to fart more often.
I either have to fart more often or I need to start questioning your farts and the sounds of them.
You don't want to question my farts. Straight up. The IBS, metformin farts, you don't want to question those.
I just think it's so funny because literally I'm always like, I'm allowed to fart too.
You act like I don't let you fart. Like I'm the one preventing you from farting.
No, I don't fart as much. But then when I do, it's breaking news.
Let's bring up this situation, okay? Same time, same day that we have the question mark fart.
Oh, you're not gonna?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Okay, not only did her butthole have a question, her koozie had a question. Because we're sitting there, and she's like, oh, I farted. I didn't hear anything. And I was like, okay, cool, you farted. Next thing I know, I hear this, and I'm like, did you fart again? She goes, no, that was the first one to get... It got caught in my pussy lips. Just finally worked its way out.
Listen, as somebody with a vagina, you will probably know that sometimes
they get stuck in there.
They get stuck, and then once you like adjust, it just escapes.
I never had mine make a noise though.
Well, it wasn't. I was like, it was just like
someone letting you out of a tire.
No, it was just a little leak. You gotta get out of there.
It's still fucking gross. She was straight up. Oh no, that was the first one I got caught in my pussy lips.
I mean, I'm honest.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
You can't say you're not.
Exactly. Aggressively honest sometimes. Both of us can be.
Yeah. To our downfall sometimes,
Yeah,
I feel
but
like.
it's fine, you know? When I was, I turned into the Pillsbury Doughboy when we saw your ex in Walmart.
Jesus. We literally were walking through Walmart, okay? And we've had the discussion about the small town things, okay? Walmart is the only thing we fucking have. Not anymore. We're getting some good stores.
That's
but like,
true. We're stepping up.
This was, what, 4 years ago? 3 years ago?
But what she's getting at is like Walmart is the one place we both hate to go to because you will see people.
You
from
will
high
see people
school.
that you know.
And like,
And it doesn't matter if we go to Walmart 20 minutes away or if we go to Walmart an hour and a half away.
Mhm.
We're seeing people.
yeah, unfortunately, and sometimes you don't.
As a
wanna see them.
hairdresser, I don't look that great when I go to work. But like, if I'm going out to the Walmart, I'm definitely not going to be in peak performance.
Mm-mm.
So keep that in mind. But this is probably 4 or 5 years ago. This is the same ex-boyfriend we talked about on the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
We're walking through Walmart. I have my grocery list. Mine and my husband's grocery list, mind you. And Lacey's walking next to me. And I look up and I catch a glance and I'm like, oh, God, that's him and his fiance or wife. I don't know if they were married at that point. And Lacey catches on and she goes, ooh, ooh. And she's like poking me and I'm like, thank you for drawing attention to the fact that we've now seen my ex-boyfriend and his new spouse.
Well, and I feel like not too long prior, we had a discussion where we were like
Yep.
talking about like maybe seeing him, or like
Yep.
we had talked about him specifically.
Yep.
And so then I was just like, oh, and you were like, okay, Pillsbury fucking doughboy, thank you for
You
bringing
just
attention.
gotta tickle for me. Like, what the fuck? Who does that?
I was curious, and I wanted to make sure you knew. And unfortunately, sometimes I respond like a 4-year-old child, and
Straight up, if you talk about somebody, you'll see them at Walmart.
it's insane.
It's the law.
Yeah,
You
like
talk
law
about
of
it?
attraction, law of the states.
Yes.
If you talk about somebody and then you go to Walmart, guess what?
You're gonna fucking see them.
You're gonna see them, even if you don't want to. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, because when I go, like, I am not a person, especially now that I work from home, like, I look feral 90% of the time. Like, it's
I
bad.
would agree.
Thank you.
Just
For that
you look better than I do. And I go out in public.
And like, so normally I do bare minimum. Honestly, haven't worn a bra in 3 months straight up. And so when I go out, I don't look cute because I'm just like trying to get my shit done and go. But then I always see people, and like I hate having a conversation because like I still don't know how to fully explain what I do for a living, because I know most people in our town probably know that I'm on TikTok and stuff.
I tell everybody.
And my mom tells everybody, my brother tells
I tell everybody.
my brother's favorite thing to do is just lead it up with just, my sister doesn't have a job.
I don't lead it up like that. It's usually I'm talking about TikTok and they'll be like, oh yeah, like, yeah, my best friend's famous on TikTok. Shut the fuck up.
Get out of here. But like literally, my brother, his favorite thing to do, he's like, I love telling people, and I love telling people by just being like, my sister doesn't have a job.
Well, it's that shock value of you being you,
Mm-hmm.
and people just be like, wait, what? She doesn't have a job?
Yeah.
What's she doing?
Yeah, because I've had a job since I was 14. So then everyone's like, what? And then my brother's like, well, yeah, like she runs her own business now and like does social media.
Which is still a job, Brad.
Well, I know, but he just loves to lead it up that way.
I know, but you're gonna like, one day you're gonna start that conversation, you're not gonna get to finish it, and someone's gonna think you're a piece of shit.
Just living in my parents'
Just
house.
a massive piece of shit. Just living at home.
Just, you know, in the basement, just,
It's gonna be that one person that tells everybody too.
yeah. Which I don't give a shit. I mean,
Like Arthur from Lacey's brother.
she doesn't have a fucking job.
She doesn't have a job. She lays around in her underwear all day long eating Cheetos.
Which is, I do that, but I also
And-
work.
In her mom and dad's house. Her mom brings her breakfast on a platter every day. She can't be bothered to get up.
My mom won't even bring me ibuprofen if I'm sick.
I'm
Let's be
aware. I'm aware.
But it's
Very
just so
aware.
funny. And like my mom, she tells all her clients, she's like, Farmer Lacey, look her up on TikTok. And I'm just like, good lord. She even told the UPS guy.
Yeah, but the UPS guy, there was a story there.
Yeah. He was bringing 20 boxes of plushies. And so like my mom had that like awkward, like my mom was like, I'm not going to help him, but like I feel like I should tell him what this is. Because like I know a lot of people go hard in the paint sometimes around this time to like buying gifts, but like it was 20 large
20 boxes at one time.
Yeah, and they were all the same size, and it was like a month ago, so that was a little early for Christmas maybe. And my mom's like, yeah, these are plushies she's got on TikTok. And then the next time it comes, he's like, I found your daughter on TikTok.
Where you at, UPS guy?
I made a TikTok and he didn't comment.
Straight up. Why are the guys in the brown suits so much hotter than the FedEx guys?
Dude,
Sorry if you're a FedEx guy, but you were not it.
dude, that is true. And
So true.
here's the thing though, mom said that he was younger and attractive, so I'm like, hey bud, UPS guy,
You're clearly in my area.
where you at? Deliver my packages and deliver them.
Right.
I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I'm just
No, but for real, like, you never see FedEx drivers on TikTok.
No, it's usually UPS.
It's always UPS guys.
Or Amazon. I've seen some Amazon.
I haven't seen any super attractive Amazon men, but like there are some UPS drivers that are just like the gods pooped them out.
Mm-hmm.
Like so beautiful.
Well, and like it goes back to those, you know, like trade jobs. Like everyone thinks you need to get a big bachelor's or master's
Yep.
and stuff, but UPS guys, they have great benefits.
Right.
I've heard they have like, other than like now, I'm sure their hours are probably a little fucky because they're super
Right.
busy, but like I've heard only good things about UPS and
Yeah.
jobs like that. Like I know one person, the same guy from episode 2 that's a fuck, he was like applying and was gonna get a UPS job. The Great Hunter.
Oh.
Yeah, him. He was applying and he was telling me all the benefits. I'm like, fuck yeah. Which, like, I've never looked down on those jobs because my dad is a tradesman. Like, my dad has been an excavation and construction worker since I was a
trade
kid.
will get you places.
It really
honestly.
will. Like, I mean, do whatever makes you happy.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Like, if you
But don't feel down on yourself because you go to trade school. Because listen, the trade school,
electricians?
yeah, stupid amounts of money. Welders.
I was
My brother-in-law, my dad's been a welder his whole life. My brother-in-law is also a welder, and
stupid money.
you get one of those prevailing wage jobs for the state, damn, you will make like a lot of fucking money.
And like, that's what I always tell people, because I have 2 college degrees and I love my college degrees. I enjoyed my time in college because I'm a person that school naturally came easier to me. So like, I would go back to school, honestly.
You're also just a person that enjoys learning.
Yes,
all
I'm
the time.
Big old nerd. So for me, even though I don't technically use my degrees, I still very much enjoyed them and I don't have any regrets.
Right.
But for some people, like, they go to college and they struggle because that your brain might not be wired that way, but it's totally chill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do whatever makes you happy.
That was literally me.
Like, exactly, yeah, you were.
I went to college, dead set on what I was going to do for the rest of my life, which at 18, fuck the school system for making us think we have to have it figured out by 18.
No.
Because there's no way. That's the time that I would really have liked my mom to have been like, this is what you're doing. I'm like, okay, mom, thank you.
Thank you.
And I went to college, and I was for sure going to be an ag teacher. I was like, this is what I'm born to do, quite literally. My whole family did it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. And I got through my first semester, and I was like, okay, I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll keep doing it. Second semester comes around, I remember my advisor, he was like, so why do you want to be an ag teacher? And the only thing that I could come up with was so I could go to national convention.
Which is fair.
Which is a 1 week out of the whole school year.
But it's extremely valid.
But it's, yeah, so that was the only reason that he's like, oh, okay, cool. And then I went and did some early field, and I went back, and I was like, hey, yo, advisor man, take me out of them shits, and I'm going back. And I started hair school, and here I am.
Yeah, but you're way happier. I mean, you always did hair, but I think it was just like something that you didn't think about as much because your family was always ag
Well, like
teachers.
the area too, like
Yeah.
it's a very rural community, and you're like,
Mhm.
okay, well, this is what, you're gonna be a teacher?
Yeah.
You're gonna work at a bank?
I did that.
Or you're gonna be a farmer?
Yeah, straight up. It is very, very true. And that's how it is. Oh, that's the heater turning on. You're all right back there. Don't freak out.
But it's not like a fucking rattlesnake. I know what it is.
It's
It's coming
December.
at me sideways.
It's December and we're in Ohio. I don't think there's rattlesnakes.
It was 60 degrees last week.
It is true.
It's 24 degrees outside right now.
Bro, it's cold outside. Like,
Ask me if I still showed up with my ice cold Red Bull though.
I made an iced coffee this morning. I will never
Word.
drink hot coffee. I'm sorry, I cannot
can't
do
do
it.
it.
I cannot get behind
Cannot.
it. I will drink iced coffee every day, regardless of what the weather is.
I really can't drink hot teas though either.
I do like a hot tea. I'm a
I
tea
can
bitch.
sometimes if I'm like to the point like over that 2-month shutdown that we had
Mhm.
when Daddy was like stay at home kids, and I wasn't a necessary worker to be out and about. I did get into tea. I bought a whole fucking kit for my Keurig for tea brewing.
Yep.
And guess what? As soon as shutdown was over, goodbye tea.
Yep.
Not
Well,
doing it.
You know, we got into some weird. Everyone kind of got into some weird shit during shutdown. I almost sent you a TikTok last night because one of the things I think we should talk about before our break is when you were really into the soaps.
Oh, the squeezing? Yeah, dude. We can definitely. Hold on.
She's got to adjust for this.
I gotta
one.
readjust. Okay, so let me get a drinky drink.
Basically, I'll give you a little synopsis. So
This taught me a lot of shit.
I understood it though. Like, I would actually do it with you. So basically, there is like a community. Like, I feel like it's like in the category of ASMR because some
Definitely
people it's a
is.
visual, some people it's the
It
audio.
definitely is.
But basically, it's the like squeeze. Like, it's taking various soaps and just various types of sponges and then just going to fucking town.
It's like cleaning porn. A lot of people watch it because like people will clean while they do it. I didn't. No. I filled up my sink with hot water.
Yep.
And I would put various different floor cleaners, which is so not good for you to be touching with your hands.
No, her house smelled amazing.
My house always smelled. Oh my god.
And she did reuse it, which I gave mad props to.
I didn't waste it.
No, she really didn't.
But I
As
would
best as she
literally-
could, she would reuse.
So like my smell of choice is Pine Sol.
That's the power of
I
Pine
love
Sol,
me
baby.
some Pine Sol. So I'd pour water, I'd put water in my sink, I would pour Pine Sol in it, and then I'd put car sponges in it. And you just get it super soapy and you just go to town. Like, you just squeeze the sponges. And, like, you've seen it. Like, you can literally type in any kind of ASMR on, like, Instagram Explore page.
Or TikTok has a lot of it, too.
Yeah. TikTok's is definitely more cleaning oriented. So, like, Instagram is literally just me squeezing this sponge.
Yeah.
And TikTok's is like, I'm gonna fill my toilet with 4 cans of Ajax and a whole bottle of Penoline.
Yeah, and then...
Which is not good for your plumbing, by the way. That creates a paste. Yeah. And that's gonna clog your shit. But...
It's also, like, hella wasteful.
I didn't understand, because I had a really strong, like, attraction to it, just watching it, and I was like, I don't understand. This
and
is
it
weird.
smells.
Well, then I started doing it. I was like, alright, I'm gonna fuck around a little bit. It's like something dirty. Like, this is how drug addictions start.
It was like, honestly, it was her like dirty secret because
I didn't tell anybody.
No.
I didn't want anyone to know because I knew people would make fun of me.
Yeah, but like I was like, dude, it kind of is fun. Like, and I would watch it. I would do it with her. I'm like,
Lacey
yeah,
came over one day and I was like, up and squeezing. It got so bad though. I had like one of those big Rubbermaid totes full of sponges and another one full of cleaning products, and I would just go over and pick for the day. Like, this is what's gonna get me through. And I started looking into it, and it turns out,
fun fact,
people with anemia or any kind of iron deficiencies are strongly attracted to the smell of Pine Sol. Something in the Pine Sol cures your anemic fix, I guess. But some people go as far as to drink it.
Not drink.
Like, the urge is there to like drink it. I just want to smell it all the time. And so I go to my iron doctor and I'm like, hey y'all,
I'm squeezing.
Test me. And they test me, and sure enough, my iron is low. So they get my iron back where it's supposed to be. Did not squeeze again.
Nope. She's still using up all those cleaning products now.
Yeah, because I had a shit ton. Yeah.
I would.
They got me a lot of shit. Like, and then I started letting, because Lacey was like cool with it, and Lacey would be like, she'd come over like, I need to squeeze. And that was cool.
It was a good stress reliever.
It really was, because it's very soothing, and the bubbles and whatever. And
so straight up, there'd be a couple times where like I'd have like a rough day at work, and I would come over to Joyce and be like, let's squeeze, bitch.
Yeah, because I have I have two sinks. I have a double sink. So
we just each took a side.
Get your squeeze on.
It just got our squeeze on.
But I let Lacey in on it, and it was okay. And then my husband started to figure it out, because my husband didn't know until after Lacey knew it. He was like, okay, what the fuck's with all the sponges? And I was like, I have a whole fucking collection at this point, and you didn't notice.
Yeah.
And then I let Bustin in on it. Judgmental motherfucker.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know why you do that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why you exist.
Which, like, were we shocked that he was going to be judgy?
No, he's judgy when he doesn't understand. Sorry. It is what it is.
Yeah.
If he doesn't understand, he's judgy.
Yep.
God, I love him. We don't understand it, we're judgy.
But yeah.
But we don't understand the shoe thing, and we are the 2 biggest bitches on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
Like, the other day, he was so excited about those shoes. We're like, wow, that's really cool.
Because, like, I just don't get it. Like, I think I like sneakers. I can be a sneakerhead sometimes, but, like, I'm not going to spend, like, it's not the rarity for me. Like, I'll see a shoe and be like, I like that shoe. It's really pretty.
I'm going to buy it.
And I'm going to buy them.
Bustin is a shoe connoisseur, flipper, whatever. So he buys them, the rare shoes, and then he sells them.
Yeah, which is, like, fine.
And he makes bank on it.
Yeah, good for him.
I don't understand it.
I don't either. But there's a lot of things that we do that people don't
But I
understand.
have made the effort to try and understand it.
I have to.
I still don't get it.
Nope. But, you know, in life, there's going to be things you
Right.
don't understand. You know?
You do you and I'll do me.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
Yeah, like I'm at a point in life where like literally like I feel like when you're younger you are judgy, unfortunately. Like I used to be such a judgy little
I feel like
bitch.
it's a defensive thing.
Yeah, I really do. I think once you really come into yourself and you really start just like being your own self, and as much as people don't understand that prefrontal cortex, once she starts forming,
Dude,
if
I could go back and be like, it's okay, this is normal.
and like also shut the fuck up with
Right.
your opinions. Because now I'm literally
No
at a point
one
where
gives
I'm
a
like
shit.
I'm literally at a point where like as long as it doesn't harm anyone and you're happy,
Yeah.
I don't
care.
give a fuck
I don't
what
give
you
two
do.
shits.
I don't understand why people have such strong opinions. Like I literally, if tomorrow someone came up to me and was like, I genuinely love to put a tail inside my ass, pretend to be a lamp, and bark at neighbors, I would be like, that's fucking dope.
Put that on a t-shirt.
But like seriously,
I'll get you a shirt.
like I genuinely do not give a
Right.
shit.
It doesn't
Like,
bother me or concern me at all.
there's literally a house I drive by, I'm like, I don't like that color combination, but it's not my house, so I don't care.
Precisely.
Like that's literally as easy as it is.
Well, and like I feel like part of ours too, and I don't want to like associate the whole area where we grew up as being this way, but it's a very rural, like old time thoughts and ways of
Yes.
the world, and
You have
so,
to break
like,
out of those and become your own person.
yeah, and like growing up, like it wasn't okay to be gay.
Yeah.
God forbid you date outside of your race, like.
And like you have to just, it's, you know, when you're young and impressionable, you kind of just are like an extension of your parents.
Well,
or an
you come,
extension
yeah,
of
you come
or an
up, your opinions. I
Yeah.
use that term very loosely because it's
they're
not
not
your
yours.
opinions. It's your parents' opinions,
or
or your
your,
family views,
or your, you know,
or
your
your community views.
And then once you start to break free, whether that be, you know, going on the internet or you go to college somewhere or
Right.
something. I went to a liberal college, and at first everyone was like, oh my God, but like I'm really glad I did because it really changed my perspective on a lot of things, and it really helped me become
I went to the
person.
same liberal college, hated it. Not because it was a liberal college, just because it was not meant for me.
Yeah, exactly. But you really just have to come to your own and be your own
Right.
person. Like, that's the best advice I can give somebody. Like, when people are really, like, spouty, like, when Kaylee, like, my little cousin, love her to death, but when she's, like, super, like, she hasn't become super opinionated, but I did it with Emily a lot when Emily was younger,
Yeah.
because, like, I'd be like, sis, you'll get it and eventually.
Yeah, you'll understand.
Because my
someday.
sister did that to me, and I was
Yeah.
like, you don't get it. Because, like, I was, like, 19 or 20, and I had some dumb opinions, and my sister was like, you'll understand in 5 years. And I was like, I'm an adult now, and now I'm like, I was a fucking idiot.
Right. Well, and that goes back to people just assuming that you should have your shit figured out by 18.
Yeah, no,
You won't.
no.
But I remember the first time I was like, what's so bad about people being gay?
Yeah, like I was literally like, what the
Like-
hell does it matter?
Why should I care?
Why should we? Why
No
should
one's
the-
asking me what my sexual preferences are and what I do in the bedroom
So why should we?
because I'm straight, but we're always concerned about like, and I just remember being like, oh my God, like it is okay to be gay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay to be gay.
Yeah, it is. It's so
But
crazy.
the world that we live in, especially like our community, sometimes I feel like they still aren't on that train.
No, and it's so frustrating.
I'm not generalizing everybody, but like a good majority of our, you know,
Yeah,
they're stuck in like.
back in time. They need to get
Right.
with it because it's literally, it doesn't matter. Like
I'm
I
sorry,
said,
but it's all the old people complaining about our generation.
boomers. What?
For real. For real. Those are the only ones that you're gonna catch crap from for being a different color or for liking people of the same gender.
For the most part, yeah. It's insane, but
So, when my husband and I moved into our house, the thought of a mortgage at 20 years old, which quite honestly, the thought of a mortgage right now at 25,
mortgages
disgusting.
are scary in
Right.
general. Debt is terrifying.
Right, and like this is a place where like you're in charge. Like you
Mhm.
don't have a landlord or whatever.
It's your stuff.
Right, you're in charge of fixing it, so everyone think about that before you go buying a house. Because you can't call nobody.
No, you
Except
can't.
your dad and cry.
Exactly.
But when we first moved into our house, my husband's friend literally, he came over to see the house and he was like, hey, what are you doing in the spare room?
I noticed.
I noticed you don't have anything in here.
I noticed it's a 3-bedroom, and there's only 2 of you that share a room.
And so I was like, oh, nothing. I just thought it was kind of weird, but I brushed it off. I was like, whatever. And then Caleb comes back in and he's like, so Mike wants to move into that room. We're not even moved in yet. What the fuck, Mike?
Yeah, like they weren't even fully in their house
No. We were still deciding where to put cups. And Mike's like, I want to move in. And I was like, I mean, that would be okay. But I was like, you want to like take a second and think about living with your friend? Like,
yet. That's who's married?
no. I'm talking about like Caleb from
Oh,
like
your husband's perspective. Okay.
living with your friends can be detrimental to your friendship for a lot of reasons.
Oh, for sure.
And I was like, as long as you're okay with it, I don't care. And like Mike and I, not very close to that point. So I was
No.
like, okay, whatever. So Mike paid half of our mortgage. That was a selling point for me.
Exactly.
So Mike moved in. And Mike and I had that very stereotypical new roommate relationship. Like if you were to get a roommate off Craigslist, like we didn't speak unless Caleb was there to be like the moderator. Like we didn't talk. Like Mike and I were close enough that I was okay with him being in my house. I mean, he was at my fucking wedding, but
Yeah.
like I didn't know him all that well. Like I just knew this is Mike. We
He's
were
my
friends,
husband's
but we
friend.
weren't besties.
Exactly.
So Mike moves in. Like I said, he and I don't talk unless Caleb is there to moderate. And then one day, Mike and I just became besties, right? So I would text him and be like, are you coming home for dinner? because I'm making this. And he'd be like, I wasn't, but now I am. So we would have like family dinners, family game night, which got fucking intense.
Dude, because literally, so...
We would play Monopoly, and when is that ever not intense? That was the stupidest game that we could have played.
Exactly, but like, basically, like, it became almost like a family game night and stuff, because it would be... I would come over all the time and hang out.
Which she still does. This is not like a past
Nothing
thing.
has changed.
Nothing's changed.
Mike just doesn't live there.
Mike has moved out.
T-Baby took the bedroom.
Right.
But literally, so it would be Julia and Caleb, and then me and Mike, and we would all just hang out. We would have family, like we would watch movies. Like I watched The Notebook with Julie and Mike for the first time.
Mike was a real one. Honestly, I love Mike.
I know, it was so fun.
But we would play Monopoly, and every time, Mike, if I would sell something to Caleb or Caleb would sell something to me that Mike wanted, coercion.
It's because you're fucking married.
It's because you guys are married. It's coercion.
And then anytime I would like buy stuff and wouldn't, he's like, well, she's not gonna fucking sell anything because that's how she is. She likes to just have everything on the table.
Mike is not a good place to play Monopoly with.
No,
Case
not
in
a good
point.
person. But my favorite thing that we did while you lived with Mike was all the stupid pranks that we played on Mike.
I don't know how it started. Like, I don't remember what the initial prank was.
I do. Because it was when we just started hanging out again and we did the Lindsay prank because he thought I was...
Anybody who has been or knows anybody in cosmetology school, you're literally your first week you get a kit, okay? And in that kit comes 8 to 10 heads.
Yeah, you get a lot of mannequin heads with hair.
And at this point, I was already done with cosmetology school. I was literally just hoarding heads at this point because my dog, R.I.P. Barry, used to love to play with them. It was a favorite toy.
Yeah.
So I had a head.
Well, he asked if I was gonna be there.
Yeah,
because
Mike at that point in his life was like, I'm a fucker.
Yeah, he was a very single, and I was like what would we call it? Like a challenge, because I was not interested in Mike.
No.
And I don't think he was necessarily interested in me, but like, he would be like, he literally Snapchatted Julie, and he was like, because Julie just genuinely, because this is when Caleb was working nights, and so I was hanging out with you, and he asked.
That was when we would stay up late.
Yeah, and then you asked him when he was going to be home because you were just curious since you would be there by yourself.
Well, because sometimes Mike wouldn't let me know, and it wasn't like, I need to know where you're at. It was, I need to know if you're planning on coming home, because if you walk through the door at 2 a.m., there's a good chance I meet you with a 9. Like, I don't want to kill you.
Yeah. But, so, she was like, hey, when are you coming home? And Mike was like, why? Does Lindsay want to know?
He thought her name was Lindsay. Straight up thought her name was Lindsay. And by that point, we had all hung out
a couple
good
times.
bit.
And so...
Still thinks her name is Lindsay.
Julie... No, he doesn't. So, Julie thought it'd be funny to hype this up. Of like, I was into Mike.
Remember the kit conversations? The Omegle thing that we talked about last week?
Same shit.
Same shit.
Julie
I
thought it was going to be hilarious to hype this up. So she's like, I mean, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, all right, well, just tell her she can stay the night. Or like, you said I was going to stay the night. And he was like, tell her she can sleep in my bed. So I think Mike was like out drinking and one of his friends was going to drop him off. So we knew it was perfect because then he'd be really drunk.
Right, because at that point, you could tell him the sky was green and he'd be like, fuck yeah, it is.
So we went in Julie's room and like Julie kind of left it like ominous of like if I was going to be there or not. Which like obviously I'm a homebody. I don't fucking spend the night. I was going home. So we made it look like somebody was sleeping in his bed because we put the like mannequin head and then like a blanket and pillows.
Yep. Like in his bed.
Yeah, and then I remember he Snapchatted me a video of when he got home and like through the head was like, this is a fucking person.
Well, he sent me a Snapchat. I stayed up late to like make sure I was at least awake to receive whatever he was going to send me about the situation. And he sends me a Snapchat, and it's like 1 or 2 in the morning. It was late, so Lacey was definitely already gone home
and in bed.
And I get a Snapchat, and it was like, "Yo," and it was just he had opened his bedroom door and taken a picture of his bed
because he really
was like, "Yo, what the fuck." And I didn't reply because I didn't want him to know that I was like still awake because he would bust through the door and be like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on?" And so he approaches the bed calmly in a video. He sends me a video. He approaches the bed and he like touches it, like as if you were trying to figure out something had died. Like
just a little poke,
just a little comfort poke. And then he realizes what it is, and at that point he ripped the head up and was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" and then throws it.
Yeah.
So that started, for whatever reason, an all-out prank war, and Mike didn't get retaliation for that.
No, he never really like retaliated. Like we literally, one time we decided to.
So Mike, I don't know if we should tell Mike's dirty secrets like that.
He had a meat beating station. That's what
Am I gonna have to go through and take his name out of everything?
No, he just has to deal with it. Mike, if you're listening, every man does it, it's fine. But
Mike had a meat beating station, and one day while Mike was out, he was gone out drinking.
Or
it was Mike's birthday or something.
Yeah, something.
We didn't go. Instead, we got drunk at my house.
Yeah, but I don't remember why. I think you needed something from the spare room because Julie still had some shit in there.
Right, because it was meant to be used as my storage room, not as Michael's bedroom.
And so she literally, the nightstand was hers, and she opened it up, and literally all that was in the nightstand.
The nightstand was not mine.
Oh, sorry, JK. All that was in the nightstand was literally her lotion. Literally her lotion. That's it.
My lotion.
Not the vanilla bean. That was a different time, wasn't it?
No.
No, that was the same night.
Time. So we walk in there, and Mike didn't have shit for furniture. He literally had that nightstand, his TV, and his bed, and that was it.
Hell yeah.
Well, I actually think the bed was mine. The bed was mine. Mike didn't have anything. And I open it up. I don't remember what we were looking for or what was going on. But I open it up, and it's my fucking Vanilla Bean Noel lotion.
From Bath & Body
Which
Works.
is seasonal.
So
you can't get it all the time.
So, what a bitch.
And I'm sexually attracted to that scent. I love the Vanilla Bean scent. And I open up his little nightstand, and I swear I was so pissed. I was drunk.
She was.
So what do when you're drunk and mad? You
At
call
2
people.
a.m.?
You call people. So I called him. He's equally as drunk, and you can tell. It's very clear that he's also
gone.
very intoxicated. And I go, "What the fuck are you doing with my Vanilla Bean and your meat beat station?" Da, 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 da.
And he literally was.
And he was like, "Yo, what the fuck? What Vanilla Bean? What? I don't know what that is. Vanilla Bean." And I was crying almost. I was like, "My fucking Vanilla Bean. I can only get that sometimes, and you're using it to beat your dick." And so that leads us into the first official prank.
Yeah, because we switched out. You got some random Eucerin body lotion.
Well, I had lotion from when I got my first tattoo.
Yeah.
And it was unscented, and I was like, "Here, dude, use this if you got a jacket, okay?
Yeah.
If you can't go out and go to the store and buy your own jacking lotion, then I will provide it for you."
So to get him back for the Vanilla Bean, we decided to put glue mixed
Hold
in.
on. I gave him the lotion. And I was just going to be like, "Here's the lotion. Please do not use any of my Bath & Body Works to beat your dick." So I gave him the lotion, and he's like, "What if we fuck with the lotion?" And I was like, "What if we did?" And so we were thinking of what to do, and she's like, "Let's put cayenne pepper in there." And I was like, "We cannot put cayenne pepper in there. What if it gets in his pee hole?" And I don't want to have to take him to the emergency room and be like, "My best friend who's also a redhead, he's a fire crotch now. His crotch is literally on fire." And so I was like, "Let's not do that.
Let's put glue."
So then we go and we get some good old Elmer's.
Mm-hmm.
We put glitter in it too, didn't we?
Yeah, we put glitter in it at one point.
So-
That was not as funny though because the glue. It took him a couple times before he
Before
realized
I figured it out.
He was like, "Why is there so much friction?"
So I got a little baggie because I didn't want to waste the fucking lotion. And I poured some of it out, and we put 2 bottles of Elmer's glue in this lotion bottle, and we replaced it. Didn't say anything. He never brought it up, and I was like, "It was kind of fucking strange that he just hasn't brought it up."
Yeah.
So I go check. It was still in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "All right." So I'm pretty sure we were at B-Dubs or something, and I brought it up, and I was like, "Hey, Mike, still beating your dick?"
Casual.
He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Notice anything weird about your lotion?" And then he's like, "What the fuck did you do to my lotion?" I was like, "I didn't just notice anything weird." He's like, "Well, I don't know." And then we were like, "We put glue in it. We put Elmer's glue in your lotion." And he was like, "That's why there's so much fucking friction." I thought it was kind of weird. So then I'm like, "Okay, I will replace the lotion, whatever." So I replace the lotion. All goes back to normal. And then we're like, "We're not done yet."
Let's put glitter in it.
So we put glitter in it. And that he obviously noticed right off the bat because you cannot get glitter off
No.
for anything. And when you're moisturizing your skin with it, it's definitely not coming off.
No.
So that happened, whatever. And so finally Mike just gets rid of the lotion.
Yeah.
And then he decides he's going to steal more of my lotion. Okay? And I had some self-tanning lotion that progressively gets darker.
Yeah, so this wasn't even an intentional, this was
No.
just him being
This was
dumb.
the gods being like, "Okay, well, here's your next prank on Mike."
Yeah, we didn't even intend for this one.
So he took it without asking because it wasn't Bath and Body Works. That was his thing. Like, it wasn't Bath and Body Works, so I thought I could have it.
It
like,
was Jergens.
just go out and buy your own fucking lotion. Anyway, so I'm like, I don't remember how I got brought up, but he was like, yo, my dick is hella orange. And I was like, okay, is it? I'm assuming it's not normally that color. He's like, no, it's like fucking orange. I'm like, what lotion are you using? He's like, I took some lotion out of your cabinet. And I
But it was
like,
Bath and Body Works.
I was like, I thought we weren't taking lotion from Julie anymore. And so I'm like, well, what color bottle was it in? He's like, it's in a tan bottle. And I was like, oh no. I was like, Mike, that's my self-tanning lotion. It progressively gets darker, and the more you layer it, the darker it's gonna get. He's like, oh, my dick's orange. And I was like, yeah, dude, you've been self-tanning the shit out of that thing. Maybe you should take a look at how often you touch it.
Yeah. The thing's ready for the Jersey Shore.
But, so the lotion thing happened, and then,
there was the one night we decorated.
we acquired the name Meat Beating Station, the MBS.
Yes.
And that's what we called his little war station that had literally his lotion and a towel.
Yeah.
Because that's all he was using it for.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we went to Walmart.
Yep.
We got window markers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was it. We just did window markers.
Well, then we also decided to print out images of naked
Yeah, we
men.
printed out images of dark complected men with large penises
and
pasted them all over his room
to help with the meat beating station.
to help with the meat beating station. So Lacey and I were like, we're going to decorate his truck. Like, he drove a little Ford Ranger at the time. We're going to decorate his truck. Da-da-da-da. That way he has to clean it before he goes to work.
Or it's going to have meat beating
Or it's
station.
going to have
on
meat
it.
beating station literally written all over it. And we didn't write meat beating station. We put MBS, but that poses the question, like, hey, Mike, what is MBS?
I also think we put a couple dicks on it.
We did, in fact, because what else are you going to do? We were 20.
Yeah, but
I still draw dicks on stuff.
Listen, this is the part that is really funny though, because it's like 1 a.m. Mike is asleep, and me and Julie are deviously decorating his truck in their like driveway.
Yeah.
And I, being the more, I guess, nimble one.
She's smaller than me.
Yeah, like I get up like on the hood. I'm on the hood of Mike's
Right, because
truck.
we wanted to write it across the top.
Yeah, like he could still see. It wasn't like a Fig Newton's, you know, Ricky Bobby situation.
Yeah,
He
no,
could
we
still
were
very
just
much
writing
see.
it across the top.
But it was in like the top part. And so I wrote something and then I needed to get down. And even though it was a Ford Ranger, he had it douchified, so like it was jacked up.
It came like that. He didn't do that.
Okay, never mind. It was already pre-douchified.
It was tall for Ford Ranger.
It was. And so I was getting ready to jump down, and I figured my tall best friend would assist me. So she hands out a hand like a goddamn princess.
I like flicked the wrist a little bit, and I was like, "Here's your hand."
And that was all she gave me. And it was already dewy outside, so I literally land, and instantly my feet just come right out from under me, and I just on my
But
ass.
that's the one time that Lacey has fallen and not done something to her ankle. So.
That is true. But literally, I just remember being like, Julie, what the fuck was that? What's the
I don't know. It was really funny though.
She literally, like, I was like, hey, can you help me? And Julie just goes,
like, this is all you get.
like, this was all, like, I was, like, she was shaking my hand as a fucking princess of Genovia. And I was like, what the fuck? So then, obviously, that was our prank. And then, did we do anything else big other than the Nerf war?
I don't think so. We had plans to do other things, and then the bitch moved out.
Yeah.
Not because of the prank war, because we were talking about having children, and he was like, I don't want to be.
I'll dip.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want bunk beds with T-Babe, so he's like, I'm gonna head out.
Would have been dope, though. Mike
Honestly.
definitely has funkle potential.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it was just funny because, like, this one was more of, like, a mutual, like, just, it was genuinely fucking fun. Because Mike got dropped off drunk, and I had brought over my Nerf guns because Julie and I were like, what if we just, like, as soon as
Attack
Mike
him
gets
with Nerf
home,
guns.
we just attack him with Nerf guns. So we did, but then Mike was just in a silly, goofy mood, so he grabbed one, and then
Well,
we
at first he was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Because I had texted him and been like, hey, bitch,
Nerf war.
when you come home, it's fucking on.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not doing that shit. It's fucking stupid. Da, 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 da.
So we were like, all right, we'll just fucking attack him. So we do. But then he was like, all right, JK, it's on, like Donkey Kong.
Yep.
So then we literally were like all like 21, 22, and we're having a full-blown fucking war with Nerf guns.
Going off. And my house is not that big.
No, I remember at one point me and you were like hiding, and we were like,
We were in my bedroom, and Mike, skinny little beanpole Mike, almost broke the door down. And I was like, dude, don't break my door. It's not that serious.
this is a Nerf war.
But, like, that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still find Nerf bullets.
Sorry about it.
Not that long ago, Mossy brought me one, and I was like, where did you find this?
And then you had like that non-flashback.
Yeah. And I was like,
the good days.
this one time.
We had a war.
But we did all those pranks, and it was meant to be a prank war, but Mike never pranked us.
He never, like, he would always be like, you're gonna get a bag.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
He's like, I'm gonna wait like 6 years that way you're not even expecting it. So honestly, we might still not be in the clear.
He's gonna hear this and be like,
like, honestly, yeah, he's probably completely forgot, and then somehow he's gonna catch word of this and be like, alright,
Mike doesn't listen to the podcast. Someone would have to be like, hey man, you got name dropped.
a shit ton of
A shit ton.
And they talked about you eating your dick.
Every guy does it, so
You
I
know.
don't think it's an issue. Oh no, that was not the end of it, Lacey.
What else did we do?
Do you remember when we put him on that dating site? So,
That's when we learned the handkerchief code.
if you don't know the handkerchief code, look it up. I don't remember it like right off the top of my head.
I don't
but
either.
we had this bright idea, which now could probably get us arrested because this was harassment, is what this was. So,
Listen, we were dumb.
we were watching a YouTube video or something, and we learned about, what was it, Growler?
Grizzly
or something like that.
Something.
It's a dating app
For
for
gay
gay
men.
men.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what it is. It's just a dating app for gay men. So I was like, what if we like did silly, goofy stuff and we put Mike on there? And I think this was actually before
Yeah.
the prank war because you and Mike were not that close yet.
No.
Like Mike did not have her cell phone number, and that's an important part of the story. Mike did not have Lacey's cell phone number at this point.
Mike still doesn't have my cell phone number, I don't think. Only my Snapchat.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to talk about that with Mike.
I don't care about
But so we were like, what if we make him an account? And my husband's saying there, my husband knows like what's going on, and he's like,
But-
oh yeah, you're definitely sure.
Real quick though, we actually decided that, like, we half-assed had it set up. I don't think we uploaded a picture of him. I think it was just Mike.
Yeah.
But, like, all we realized was, like, we literally just had his name. And then we, like, saw the app. It was really funny because if you got, like, a match, it was like a grr or like a growl.
You could growl at people.
Yeah. And then we were like, we realized at that point that, like, that was too far. So then what we did is we just told him that we put him on there with his phone number.
Yeah.
So, like, we didn't actually.
No.
Because we didn't want to take it too far. Like, even
But we learned a lot about the gay community from that. Like the handkerchief code, for example, was like, I was like, whoa, I didn't know that there was like.
It was insane. So, honestly, great way for us to open
Yeah,
up.
it was a good educational tool.
Yeah.
Were
but
we
like
using
I
it
said,
properly?
no,
we were not.
absolutely not. But so literally, like, all we had put on his dating app was like he was Mike and he was 22.
Right, we hadn't finished filling it out because at that point we were like, this is probably.
This is too far.
He's probably gonna get pissed if we do this too much.
Like, this is too far.
So instead,
we
we
pretend.
tell him, hey Mike.
We put you on this dating app.
Well,
and
no, remember? Because I sent you Mike's number and you're like, I'm gonna text him and pretend to be this guy.
Yeah.
And so Lacey texts him, probably the most aggressive sexual messages she's ever sent anybody in her life.
100%. But here's the funniest part, is I didn't have Mike's number. Mike didn't have my number. Well, I technically had gotten it from Julie. But I still went as far as to download a texting app like I was 15 on my
Right.
iPod Touch. Because I don't know, fucking stupid. So then I'm
She didn't want him to be able to call her.
Yeah, because there's no way I would be able to fake
Right.
that. And so, yeah, I literally remember just like, I sent like 3 texts maybe, because then you caved and you told him.
Well, no, because he texted me. Because at that point, Mike would text me about things because we had gotten closer about stuff like that. And he was like, yo, I'm kind of freaked out. And I was like, well, why? And he's like, there's this guy texting me saying he found me from this app. And I've not been on any dating apps. And I'm like, well, obviously you have. Like, he's got your phone number.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know how he has my phone number. Like, he was genuinely freaked out. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is a good prank.
Yeah.
And Lacey is, like, describing herself to this guy. And so then I think you sent him dick pics, didn't you?
Yeah, because we had found one.
Because we found one on the internet and we sent it to him. He's like sending me pictures of his dick right now. And I was like, dude, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. And he's like, this is really fucking with me. He's like, should I call them? And I was like, I mean, you can try, but like, is it a real number? Is it a fake number? And he's like, why would it be a fake number? And by that point, I was like, that was the wrong thing to say. So I was like, it's probably a good time to tell you that,
That's just Lacey.
no, because I played it out.
Oh, okay.
I was like, Lacey and I might have did something, like,
We might have been in
might
a
have had, like,
little
a
oopsie.
and he was like, what the fuck did you do? Because at this point, his, like, worry had turned to anger because he knew that we had something to do with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we found this dating app for gay men. And he was like, you did not. And I was like, but we did. We put you on there, and this guy asked for your number, and we gave it to him. And he's like, he's sending me dick pics. He wants to see my dick. Why would you do that? And so at that point, like, I let it stew for, like, maybe another hour, and then finally I was like, hey, Mike, just so you know, like, that's Lacey texting you from a texting app. Like, we're just fucking with you. And he
Yeah,
goes,
we didn't actually do that.
so you didn't put me on a dating app? And I was like, no, sir, I did not. And he was like, well, good, because I was starting to worry.
Yeah, because like I said, we got to the point of like having Mike, and like we saw the dating app, which like I said, interesting to see. And then we were like, this is too far. We can't do this. Like,
it was one of those, would you want somebody doing that to you situations?
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, definitely not.
Like, it was a good joke.
So, having the premise of we got on the app was like, yeah, because when we were having the conversation with him, we used our knowledge that we learned about the handkerchief code. And so Lacey was saying to him, like, okay, what color handkerchief do you have? Because it's something about you hanging out. It depends on what side you hang it out of, what color it is, whether you're top, bottom, versatile top, versatile bottom, strictly
All
whatever.
kinds of stuff.
And so I was telling all this stuff. I was like, yeah, we told him you were this. And he's like, what does that even mean? So I sent him the chart. And he's like, I don't want that in my butt. And I was like, I'm so sorry, Mike. Like, we were just fucking with you.
Which, like, by the way, too, I haven't really seen, which also we live in a very rural area, but, like, I don't know, like, the handkerchief thing could be very outdated.
I feel like that's more of a,
I have no
like,
idea.
when you're out, like, at a club or something like that. Like,
we don't know. All I know,
don't know.
is that it did ask you, like, you could click handkerchiefs of, like, what your things
Yeah.
were, and so that's why we had to Google what it was. So, like, I don't know.
Let me Google the chart. That way someone can be like,
That's wrong.
yeah, because I want to know.
Exactly.
Because this is something we're not obviously ever going to
Experience.
Right, because
We're not gay men.
Not gay men.
And I don't know if it works for females as well. Like, is it universal?
I don't know. Any
We have no
lesbians out
idea.
there care to give a
Ladala Beans, please let us know. Because
dollar bill, come get up.
I'm always down to learn some stuff. Because honestly, I was like, we read this, and I was like, this is fucking smart. This is smart as shit.
It like it
This
was
is
like
smart
when
shit.
people were doing when they were still having weddings during the pandemic and they would put bracelets on. Of like, okay,
Or
it's
like
okay
the-
to hug me.
Yeah, or like the parties where they have the stoplight parties where it's like green is a good to go, like single,
Yeah.
yellows it's a complicated, red is
Yep.
I'm in a relationship. Like honestly,
Okay, here we go.
really smart shit.
This is in depth. It must still be a thing because it's grown since we saw it last.
Oh yeah, I looked at it not too long ago because someone was asking, like someone, I don't know how it got brought up in conversation, but I was like, there's a whole thing like of like handkerchief stuff. Like me and Julie found it.
Okay, so this is just a basic 12 handkerchief thing. The other ones that I saw were like 24.
Yeah, like it can get like I remember seeing some that had like specific kinks and like
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
Well, some of them were like pocket specific.
Yeah, like left
which
and right,
pocket you
yeah.
put it in. So black means you're heavy S&M.
which like kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
with the color. That's
Red means you're into fisting. Also good with the color.
Yep.
Yellow is water sports, which
I'm assuming
it's not water skiing.
I'm pretty sure it's piss.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's yellow.
Todd would have to wear a
Yes.
yellow handkerchief.
Dark blue is anal sex.
That's my dog. Well, my brother's dog. I don't want y'all to think I'm like
Not the anal
doxing
sex part.
The
You
piss
remember the
kink.
getting when we were talking about our piss kink?
Yeah,
The dog piss kink?
my brother's dog has a piss kink.
Right.
Continuing.
So dark blue is anal sex, light blue is oral sex, orange is anything, anywhere, anytime.
That
You're
person's
down for the get down.
down.
Gray is bondage.
Okay.
Brown is scat, which is poop.
Oh, you said poop.
Scat. Purple means you're into piercing. Like piercing what? I don't know.
Like piercings, or like you physically are like, what do you want done today?
don't
You
know.
bring like a Claire's little.
Are you the pierced or the piercer?
Yeah, like does that mean you're just into piercings?
This is where it gets a little weird.
Oh,
Because,
this is where it's
we
getting-
get shade differentiation.
Oh
so,
yeah, like and there's like some patterns too. Like I don't, like I said, we act like if you are in the LGBTQ alphabet mafia,
Please let us know because I'm genuinely curious about this again because I
Straight
was
up.
not until we started talking about it. and
Please let
brought
us
it
know
up.
if this is legit a thing or we're just two dumb bitches
Right.
that are believing something. Because like you guys could very well have made this code for us dumb straight
Just to
people,
fuck with us.
and we would be like, did you know they wear handkerchiefs?
Just to fuck with us. Literally, just to fuck with us.
And like, great job.
Kelly Green is a hustler or prostitution. But Hunter Green is daddy boy. So I think that would be like daddy dom.
Yeah, for sure.
And black and white checkered is safe sex, not specified to which kind.
Probably condoms then. I'm assuming.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Wow. Light pink means dildos.
Okay.
If it's worn on the left, it's a performer. If it's more on the right, it's a receiver.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It really, like, who put this together?
Can
Can we find the creator?
I'm sorry. Hold on. So this is a different show. This one's called Hankey Code. Nancy Davidson's Riding High. Okay, so it goes down all the ones we just learned about.
Okay.
Then we get to medium blue, which is a uniform fetish.
Unicorn fetish?
Uniform.
Oh.
So if you wear it in your left, you're a cop, and just the wording on this is what made me laugh. But if you wear it on the right, you're the cop sucker. Teal is cock and ball torture.
We saw some of that on the YMH.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah. You want some heavy shit? That's what you watch.
Exactly. Intermission.
I'm back with some more information.
Yeah.
Because there are some, like, tan is like cigars.
Yeah.
Like, one smokes them and one doesn't. So we've got cop suckers and cigars. Beige is rimming. You can be the rimmer or the rimmee. I really am curious to, like, know more about this.
Straight up, like I'm not even trying to, like, genuinely make fun of it.
No.
Or, like I'm seriously not. Like, I genuinely want to know if this is a real thing. Because we are from such a sheltered small town in
Right.
Ohio.
We don't get a lot of, like, influence like that.
No. So, like, I'm genuinely curious because not even trying to, like, be that ass kisser. That's fucking genius.
Yeah, it takes all the guesswork out of it.
Yeah, like, you straight up are wearing what you're
Also,
into.
Do you wear multiple handkerchiefs?
I think you probably could.
If you just, like,
What's the
clown,
look like?
just you pull the thing out. These are all the things
How
that
many
I
you
need
got,
to
bud?
do. Yeah, I do want to know.
I really do. I
I don't
genuinely...
know who I could ask.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how to just do that. So, like, please know that we're not two bitches trying to make fun
No,
of
we're not being judgmental in the slightest. We are just genuinely curious about
I just, like, it really...
everything.
When we learned that, we both were just like, huh?
Why don't straight people have it?
Yeah.
That's part of what makes me think that gay people, like the
Have it
LGBT
figured out.
made it up. And they were like, watch, we're going to fuck all the straight people.
They either have it figured out or, yeah, they're probably 100% fucking with us, and I actually
Because we
appreciate
wouldn't
that.
know.
We would have no idea.
We're not in the in with the LGBTQs.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're allies, but we're not in.
No. I wanna know the ups and downs and if that is a real thing, please.
Maybe we can do some perusing and find somebody on like the TikTok or something. Maybe we
be
can
like, listen,
ask them some questions.
maybe. I don't know. But what I do want to know is if it's real. So if you know, if you're out there,
Right, just drop a yes or no. Is
Yeah.
it real?
is it real? Is it real? So right after cock and ball torture, I think the best thing to segue into is Julie's Corner, where we're going to talk about the adoption myths. Take it away,
We
Julie!
really gotta get better at planning out when we're gonna talk
What are we talking about? That's a
stuff.
perfect segue.
And dude, last week we talked about the big dick boys and then went into infertility struggles.
And you know what? We said we were going to talk about dicks this episode, and we have. Not as aggressively.
I was
but
like, do not sit here and tell me we haven't talked about dicks.
we have a problem, and it is called talking about
We're
dicks.
addicted to dick talk.
Yeah, which is very ironic.
It's the dick doc on TikTok.
Yeah.
Have you found him yet? The dick doc
Oh
on
yeah,
TikTok?
the dick talker. Yes, I have.
Okay.
But like seriously, I just can't help. Like, listen, people needed to know about that story because it is still one of the wildest things that's ever happened to me.
Are mature enough to go about day-to-day life, but still think talking about dicks is funny.
And it is.
We're the perfect balance, if you ask me.
I agree with that.
We're appropriate
1000%.
enough to be out in public, but we can also be like, dick.
You laugh at your own farts, as do I. Shit
They're
happens.
funny. Shit
It's
happens
funny.
when you party naked.
Exactly. But anyway,
So we're going to talk about adoption myths because, like we talked about last week, the infertility stuff was a lot that I didn't know about. I had to learn it on TikTok, which is wild to me that I learned stuff like that on TikTok. But the adoption stuff was something that didn't seem feasible because we were early 20-somethings and we were like, there's no way that we'll get, we're 22 years old. We're not going to get approved. And that's what, pushed us away from it. Like, okay, well, we'll try to have our own kids first and then we'll do the adoption.
yeah.
So, in my head, I'm thinking you have to be in your 30s. You have to have X in your bank account. You have to have X in your savings account. You have to have a huge house. Can't have dogs, this, that, and the other. I was afraid they were going to make me get rid of my dogs because I have a massive black lab cross, and for whatever reasons, people don't like mastiffs. My healers, people don't like healers. I was afraid of all these things. And, newsflash, not true.
I remember at one point when you were asking, like, because I know that you were, like, at that point where you were really struggling with the constant, like, negative pregnancy tests, and I knew that you just wanted to be a mom, and my sister had already successfully gone through the foster and adoption,
Right.
so I was asking her questions, because I'm like, Julie doesn't think she can because of this, and my sister's like, no.
No, and they literally, like, they will put you through the ringer if you want to become a foster parent, because they genuinely want to make sure that you are going to be an okay person.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't nitpick things. Like, when I got ready for my first home inspection, Lacey was literally, we were at my house cleaning baseboards. Because I was like, there can't be any dirt anywhere. Like, there cannot be any sign that people actually live in this house.
Yeah, like, I was like, I turned into my neat freak self. Like, I was literally scrubbing her baseboards.
I was like, there's no way. And then they come over like, wow, your house is, like, really clean. I'm like, thank you. Because no one ever tells me my house is clean. And so, that was another thing. I thought my house had to be pristine all the time. And then finally they were like, there's going to be kids here. It's never going to be clean.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, joke's on you. Because it's never clean anything. But I thought, your house had to be perfect, pristine condition. When in reality, they just want to make sure it's a safe place.
Yeah,
so
they just want to make sure you're a genuine good person
right.
who's in it for the right reason. And you have a safe place to bring up a kid.
So, if you're ever thinking about doing the adoption thing, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
They're not going to nitpick. Like, they will nitpick your entire life from a safety standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to do a background check. You're going to do federal fingerprinting. Like, you're going to be interviewed. And it's not just like a, let's get to know you. It's a, let's look at you mentally. And you don't know that. That's the worst part. Is like, they're evaluating your psyche and just asking you about how your day was.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, that's okay. That's what we're doing. I get it. So, yeah, I thought I was going to have to get rid of my dogs, this, that, and the other. And I was like, I just can't do it. I can't do it right now. I was stressing myself out
by the process.
By the thought of starting the process. So, finally, Lacey's sister, I guess, had got tired of Lacey asking her questions on my behalf. And finally, I would just FaceTime Lacey when she was at my house and be like, hey, bitch, are you going to do this shit or not?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know where to start. Because that was the other thing. I didn't know where to start. I did not know.
I mean, I can come at it from a point of somebody who wants to foster and adopt, but is going to obviously wait a hot second.
Right.
When Julie was going about it, I didn't know where to begin either. Like, it's not really like, they really need foster parents, and I think our generation is becoming a lot more into that, because like, I feel like for some reason the older generation has this weird like, well, you never know what you're going to get, and I'm like, yeah, Karen, you can also birth a sociopath, so like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have
gotten told that a couple times. They're like, oh, that just scares me, because like, what if they're crazy? I'm like, you could poop one out and it'd be, Jeffrey Dahmer's mom had him.
Yeah. Sorry, my Huskies.
The Huskies are having a fucking choir out there.
There's a full-blown symphony going out outside. So if you hear that, I apologize, but I have a whole pack of wolves.
Called an ambulance.
I don't know what you want from me. Okay.
They're really getting it.
They're fucking doing it.
They're fucking it up.
They're hitting that shit like Mariah Carey in the booth.
But I've been told that several times. Like, oh, well, what if they have like issues? Like, okay, well, you can birth a child that
has issues,
has physical deformities or mental deformities or
anything,
mental lacks. Like, you can literally birth anything.
Yeah, like, you're not perfect, Karen. You have your flaws, starting with your name. So like, fuck off and your
change
attitude.
that shit, then we can talk.
Yeah,
but like, even
you would name it Karen.
People in my family were like when I was starting the process, because you don't shoot like you can get down to like, this is the age and this is the sex of the child that I want. But if you genuinely want to make a go of fostering and adopting, you need to look at opening yourself as far as possible to the possibilities. So I think we talked about it last week, like the checklist of these things, like, do you think you can handle this or this or this? So like, we're not a therapeutic home, so we won't take cases that require medical training.
Yeah.
And that was just like a,
they're young. You guys are young.
That was like to help me out, like, because already becoming a parent, not having the 9 months to prepare, not knowing when it's going to happen, and then on top of that, having a kid with a feeding tube or a GI tube or something like that, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that.
With
like,
I
wanted to get the idea and the feel of parenting down before I start, Meredith Grey in this shit.
Yeah.
So, stuff like that. So we're a foster home. We're not a therapeutic home. And I think one of the biggest things was people constantly being like, well, what if this? What if that? So we have it set up. We are a 0 to 3 foster home, up to 2 children, boy or girl. Pretty much accept anything that's not going to require me to get medical training. Okay, and that includes like
Autism, Down syndrome.
right. I'll take them. They don't require medical training. I'm adult enough to be able to take them to therapies or have in-home therapy done. T-Babe has in-home therapy once a week. Like, I can handle that.
Yeah.
But the biggest, and this came from a family member, and I remember it really just infuriated me.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, well, I don't see the sense in not knowing what you're getting. I'm sorry, did you know what you're getting with your 3 kids? Not everybody's blessed enough to have their children naturally.
No.
With no help. And honestly, I feel like in today's day and age, it's less likely to happen naturally. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't know if it's because I'm more, like, prone to hearing about it, or, like, I talk about it so much and hear about it so much. But, like, I feel like there's a lot more women out there than what there used to be that are having problems with infertility and, like, getting pregnant and things like that.
The birth control push.
Right. Exactly.
For me, like, it annoys me too because, like, it's just ridiculous because people are so quick to be like, I don't know, like, it just pisses me off because, like, why would you judge somebody for just genuinely wanting to give a home to kids who have seen the worst?
Don't have it.
And have seen, like, there's kids kids have come through my sister's door that have awful stories, and then I just want to give them a hug and make sure that they know that they never have to deal with that again. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. Like, genuinely, like, I like to be a dumbass, I like to, be goofy, but, like, my goal is to be able to just be a safe place for children, that they get to feel love, they can feel safe, and they can just know what a real home feels like, even if it's temporary.
Which is when you know you're doing it for the right reasons. Because I have had people, well, how much do you get paid? Because, like, it's not a secret. You get a monthly stipend for that child. It's child support from the state.
Yeah, because the state is your baby mama or baby daddy.
The state is your bio parent.
Yeah.
As far as, you obviously you'll deal with the bio parents, like working case plans and stuff like that. But, like, as far as who's paying for the child, it's not the foster parent's obligation to pay for the child's needs. The state will provide you with the means to do that.
Yeah.
And I've had several people, well, how much does it pay? Like, that should not even be on your radar.
No.
Like, I felt so dirty when we got to that point in our process of, like, okay, well, this is your monthly stipend. I'm like, that's a lot of money. Like, is that necessary?
Yeah. But honestly, you have to think about all the things that you have to buy and provide for T-Babe.
Right.
You're buying diapers, you're buying formula, you're buying food, you're buying toys, you're buying clothes. Like, so really, it is nice to be able to have that, and that does make sense because it is support for the child. You should be using it for that, which I know you guys do. But there are some people, unfortunately, that see it as, oh, if I have 4 kids in my house, that's this much money, and then I don't even need a job.
Or if I have 4 kids that have these mental incapacities, then I get even more money, because if you have a child that's special needs in some way, shape, or form, you get more money.
But it's to go towards therapy,
therapies, gas to get there, things like that.
But people don't always use it.
People don't, and that's part of the reason why they will pick your life apart.
Because they're trying to avoid that.
They're trying to avoid that. There are some that still slip through the cracks.
Yes, unfortunately.
And I feel like, especially with the panorama going on, a lot of them probably did. Because they needed to be as in-depth, and the kids needed homes. Because the number of foster kids went up when the pandemic started, because people were getting laid off, people were at home, and it sounds so shitty, but when parents are home all day, that's more time to abuse your child.
Which sounds awful.
But that's exactly what happens.
Because it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that is the way that it happens sometimes.
And, like, another thing I wasn't prepared for was the in-depth, like, trigger warning, we're going to talk about abuse here.
Yeah.
So, I didn't realize all the things I would have to know about in order to become a foster parent and just be prepared for those things to happen. Now, our age range is 0 to 3. That's less time for a child to be abused and neglected. That's more time that they can repress those memories, and honestly will never even, it'll never come up.
Yeah, like T-Babe, Julie has had T-Babe since she was day 4. Like, she was 4 days old.
So
like,
she didn't get to experience anything, like,
negative.
Yeah. So, but when you get into the point where you're accepting older children into your home, there's a lot of shit that they go through that you would not even imagine.
My sister, I actually had a full-fledged mental breakdown.
She did. She texted me.
I was bawling my eyes out because I had met some amazing kids. And I hope my sister gets to adopt one of the, like, both of the girls, but especially one of them, because I just really bonded with her.
Yeah.
And she really opened up to me. And hearing, like, my sister told me the story, and I literally was bawling my eyes out to my parents and Julie, because I was just like, how can people do that? Like, children are so innocent.
Right.
They're so just, what? How could you look at a child and just think that that was appropriate or that was okay? Like, I just, I can't even fathom it, and it just breaks my heart, because the biggest reason it broke my heart is because her spirit doesn't seem to be, like, other than just being a little more shy.
No, she is a child who's definitely made, like,
Better.
able. She's a person who's always going to see the good in people,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to hurt her and benefit her at the same time.
Yeah. And, like, that was what got me, too, is just the fact that, like, and just how quickly she wanted to be part of this family.
That hasn't let it affect her in a negative way.
Because she was just like, I want to keep coming back here. And
Right.
I'm like, I want you to keep coming back
Right.
here. And she was just like, can I come here for Christmas? And I'm like, I really hope you are. Like, I lost it. Because I just, ugh.
Well, like, part of the training is, like, you know, to be totally honest, to be totally transparent here, none of my foster parent training was like, this is how to take care of a baby. Like, I didn't have any of that. It was like, how to handle kids coming into care, like, physical abuse.
And I think they do that because they tell you how uncommon getting a newborn is.
Right. They made it very clear that we would not get a newborn.
And then
That we were looking at, like, at least 9 months to 3 years. And then they call me and they're like, we have a 4-day-old baby. And I'm like, you lying sons of bitches.
I have nothing for a newborn.
But you have to be prepared to look into the abuse stuff. Because they don't prepare you for what you're learning about. They just tell you, okay, you're going to learn about children with abuse. Okay, well, you didn't tell me I was going to learn about sexual abuse, physical abuse, people putting their kids' hands on hot stoves as a form of punishment. When my support worker came out to do my home inspection, he was like, we have to learn even more in depth than you guys do. He's like, we watch videos that people have taken of, like, watching children get abused, because there are sick fucks that not only abuse kids, they like to videotape it. And he said, they told me when I started this job that you'll find that one thing that really bothers you.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't understand how it can just be one thing when kids are getting sexually abused, beaten, da-da-da. He's like, and then I saw a video of someone lighting their child on fire as a form of punishment, and that's it for me. The fire thing is what gets me. And I was like, that's incredibly insane that is like a thing. Because, like, if you're from the Cincinnati area or like northern Kentucky area, there was a case, I think I was we were probably in middle school, but Marcus Feisel, do you remember him? He was an autistic child who was put into foster care, and his foster family neglected him to the point where they put him in a closet.
Yes, okay, yes.
They put him in a closet and left him there for so long that he malnourished to the point of death because they did not handle him. I'm pretty sure it was a foster family.
I can't remember.
It might have been bio. I don't want to off the record. Like, I don't know if it was foster or bio, but regardless, it was a form of abuse that was so insane to me that it stuck with me. Like, now I'm 25 and I still remember that very vividly. And it was because they weren't equipped to deal with autistic children.
Mm-hmm.
And their other child was seemingly normal. I don't want to scare you, but I think your thing stopped recording. I don't know when.
Oh, good heavens.
Hopefully it wasn't too far back.
Oh, I can't record past 2,000 bars.
Well, mine's still going. So,
Ready? This is what we're gonna do.
shit. Anyway, child abuse is terrible. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But we're having some issues with microphones, so I think
Shocker.
we're gonna go ahead.
We have technical difficulties again.
We're gonna go ahead and end it here.
Sorry we ended on such a hot take.
Maybe we'll pick up there next week. I don't know. But
who knows what we'll do. But thank you for staying tuned and listening to us. And sorry that we're getting real weird here at the end of with one mic. But apparently I can't record past a certain time on my iPad versus Mac.
We promise to figure our shit out at some point.
You know, maybe by episode 20, if we're still fucking it up, you can come at us. But give us some time to figure our shit out.
All the socials will be
linked
in the description. We use Linktree, so I know somebody brought up to me the fact that there's only one link. that's because that one link takes you to
multiple
links.
Yep.
The podcast TikTok, Lacey and I's TikTok, podcast Instagram, Lacey and I's Instagram,
all that good
Lacey's
stuff.
Snapchat, the YouTube, all that stuff.
Yep.
So,
But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna end this.
all right, deuces.
Peace out, guys.